It's happened! Out with the old. In with the new. So, here she is. My new toy, my CB500x. Honda, of course. And she is so pretty. I absolutely love it. I've had it just over a week now, and it's like being back with an old friend. It is honestly so easy to ride, so comfy, so smooth. It's just really, really Honda, and that's a really good thing. It is a 471cc liquid cooled parallel twin 4-stroke engine, so that is about 47 brake horsepower. So it is a A2 restricted bike. Well, it's not restricted, but it is, you know, it is A2, you know, allowed. So that is kind of why I've ended up getting it. Don't need to worry about restricting it because it is maxed out for an A2 rider, but it has a hell of a lot of torque for a little bike, and I think it looks pretty damn awesome too. A little small adventure bike. We had been looking at these bikes for a few years actually. It was actually going to almost be my first bike, but I ended up going with the BMW instead. But we've carried out more reviews, and this model was changed in 2019. So now it features a bigger front wheel. It's got LED indicators as standard, LED headlights, as well as LED rear lights. Whereas on the pre-2019, none of the indicators were LED yet, and so, you know, I thought I'd better go with that. And the fact that the front wheel is bigger, me being quite tall, just helped, you know, feel a bit more, well, I didn't feel like I was sitting on a kid's bike, not that it is, but I sat on an 18 plate in the shop and I literally almost felt like I had my knees up under my armpits. But this is a nice size because it allows me to get my feet down. I don't know what it is about that, but females, we do love to have our feet touch the floor. I don't know why, it's just a bit of a reassurance thing really. So the forks are a 41mm preload adjustable. So these ones are slightly longer on the 2019 onwards model. The seat height is 830mm and the ground clearance is 180mm. So it's ideal for going off-road. You know, I don't actually know the dimensions and figures other adventure bikes, but it still gives a good enough clearance to be getting over small obstacles. We are, however, looking at getting a bash plate simply because we feel, you know, the oil filter is quite exposed here, so I don't really fancy stones flicking up from the wheel. We do, however, have a fender extender about to go on, so that should come down to about here, which will then protect a bit more of the exhaust. We have also got some bark buster handguards that are going to go on because I've ridden with handguards before from dirt bike days as well, and it'll just help to protect the knuckles a bit more. I do feel a bit exposed, especially, you know, just, I don't know, going down not down hedges, but slightly more off-road. Anything that comes up, any stones from anyone in front, it will just protect your hands, and also it will protect this from snapping should you fall off. I'm also going to get some engine crash bars, so they will end up coming up just under here and around here and fix to the top part of the engine. These will then help to protect the plastics a bit more. The bar under here will give us somewhere to fit some extra spotlights, just to help with dark days, a bit of cornering, just to light up, you know, the edges of the roads a bit more. It just helps to see things, especially in the countryside. It's very dark, funnily enough, and you know, extra lights do help just to, you know, make it a little bit safer, a little bit easier. So it also has a nice digital display, which is something that the BMW didn't have. So I finally have nice fingerprints, a digital display to show my miles per hour, fuel gauge, what gear you're in, your average miles an hour, your trip average, like you can see how fast I've been going, 31 miles an hour average, probably because most of the roads we go down have grass, gravel, mud, and sometimes even a bit of river flowing down them. So that is just showing me my trips. If I go, done 403 miles on it in a week. I'm quite impressed with that. So if I go back to here, it's because I've only just, not long filled up. I've reset it so it doesn't actually show my miles per gallon, but it's been high 80s, about 88 miles per gallon, which I think is pretty impressive. So yes, I'm really pleased with this display. I have now put my fingerprint on it, yes, but I've also fitted a screen protector, which you can see, just because I rubbed it the other day because it had a load of dust on it. I had my gloves on and I ended up scratching the screen, so I've corrected that by using some polish, which is like a headlight restorer. So it's really fine compound, and managed to get them out. So whilst it was looking good again, I thought I'd better put the protector on it. It's also good because the screen is adjustable. So I have actually, with the help of Dad, he's already lifted it up a little bit because it was a little bit lower. Just being 5'10.5", sit quite tall on it. So you do get a little bit of buffeting. It's up much, you know, where it is now is much better than where it was before. I'm still thinking of putting it on a little extender, and that will just take it then straight up over my helmet, especially if I'm sat, I don't know, doing long journeys or touring, and you've got a long open stretch of road. It will just help with the bit of buffeting, hitting your helmet and making a hell of a lot of noise. Another feature which I really like is this bar they've put as standard, which is great for putting accessories on. So I'm now looking at getting a phone mount, probably a quad lock, to put on here, which means my phone will sit nicely on the bar and I can have a map, or like even you get dash cam apps now. So I haven't quite decided what I'll use on it, but it'll be there for any solo journeys or just recording journeys basically. I also need to get a screen protector, just because my jacket, I wear touring clothes, like adventure gear, so I have quite a few zips, and I sit, you know, the jacket almost sits on the tank, and if I'm stood up at all, you've then got your waistband of your trousers or your jacket hanging on here, and I don't really fancy scratching the new paint up. So as you can see there, we have attempted to put some paint protector on, but it was so thick, it almost made it impossible to put on. But down the sides there, that's to protect where my knees have started rubbing already. See what it does. I've also got this guy here, which is from the other bike. That is actually for my air vest. I wear one of those, so this is connected to the bike, which then connects to the vest that I am wearing. And should you have the unfortunate case of being involved in an accident or falling off, this then pulls the I think it's like a ball bearing out of the cylinder. There's a gas cylinder in the jacket, which causes the jacket to fill up with air basically and protect you, the rider. Something like this has got to have 35 kilograms of force, pull it, but that's then connected to the bike, so it's long enough that I can stand up, but it's like a seatbelt to me now. Now I've got it, I don't ever want to ride without it, and hopefully never have to use it, but it's there should I have to have it. It's that extra safety feature. one thing I was going to say is look at the size of this rear tyre. It's pretty wide. Good old Dunlops. I think they're Dunlops. Are they Dunlops? I can't actually see. Yep, they're Dunlops. But it's got a good tread on them. Ready for, I think they're about 50-50 tread, so both road and off-road. I've certainly taken it down many gravelly, muddy tracks already, which happen to be roads, but in the middle of nowhere. And apparently she kicks up a nice lot of dust, probably because of how big it is. But I've had absolutely no issues so far, so looking forward to seeing where we can take it really, and where we can take this bike. So yes, it's only been a week. I've done 400 miles. We've got to do between 600 to 1,000 before it gets its first service. Then it will get everything tightened up and just check everything's running smoothly. And then it's free reign. It's off we go, and let's go and have some fun with it. So I am really absolutely over the moon. The reviews on these bikes are just so good, from people all over the world, all ages, just loving this bike. It's taken people so many places around the world, doing tours, just because people are saying it's one of the best little off-road bikes you can get. It's just comfortable, it goes anywhere, you can get spoked wheels, you can put knobbly tyres on it, and it will just go and do what you want it to do. And so I'm hoping to be able to take it a little bit off-road, and I've never really done off-road, but hopefully with this bike I can. But if you wanted to have a look, just literally type in that to YouTube and you'll find many people all over the world with brilliant things to say about it. So I'm really excited to see what happens and where we go. And yeah, there she is.